What if I told you that while you're researching keywords and optimizing thumbnails, other creators are already banking massive views on topics that haven't even peaked yet? Because in 2025, the difference between successful YouTube channels and struggling ones isn't just content quality, it's timing. And most creators are always one step behind, reacting to trends after they've already saturated the platform. But the real moneymakers, they're the ones who can predict what's about to blow up and position themselves first. So today I'm gonna be revealing the exact systems that I use to spot viral topics weeks before they explode. And this is so that you can be the channel that sets the trend instead of chasing it. Okay, so the first method of finding really good YouTube ideas is going to be Google Trends, but doing it in a specific way. So this is Google Trends, right when you log on. So, it's saying United Kingdom up here. I highly recommend just going to the United States because typically that's the market that makes the most money. It has the highest AdSense. And typically trends tend to start with the United States and then sort of go to other first world English speaking countries. So you probably want to start with the United States. So you'd go here, just obviously type in United States, and there you go. So this is where the trend starts. So you can just click on explore if you want to here. And it has this Alaska tsunami, unfortunately there, but we're just gonna take that off. And what I like to do is go to either past 5 years or 2004 to present. Past 5 years can be pretty good. Sometimes I like to zoom out a little bit more and go to 2004 to present. And then when it comes to the search topics, basically web search is probably the best one. And of course you can just see stuff in general. Now ChatGPT has been a breakout topic forever. And it still is a breakout topic. It's basically ChatGPT is like the same thing as AI in terms of how many people are clicking on it. So, or how many people are typing it in. But if you want to, you can go here to categories. There's a lot of different categories. Now, the reason I say go to categories is because chances are you have a general idea of what your niche is gonna be. And so it's a good idea to go to categories and then choose something that's close to whatever your niche is. Because the truth is there are a lot of breakout topics here, but it's probably too spread out to be useful. All right, quick break. This Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing a one-time only workshop where I talk about how to get money quickly with AI. And you can check it out down in the description and the pinned comment below. I'm gonna be showing you this new opportunity. It's completely free and it's amazing whether you basically want to use it to get a better job, use it to network, use it to make some passive income, start a side hustle, make a full-time income, or even start a full-on business. It works incredibly well with all of those and it's completely free. And at this workshop, I'm gonna be giving away my profitable niche predictor GPT. This is a GPT-powered piece of software that I've been working on for quite some time now. Been trained on thousands of hours of my teaching, coaching, consulting sessions, etc. And so you don't have to spend months or years trying to figure out how to find a profitable niche. You can find it in a matter of minutes or even seconds in some case, because it can literally tell you right away if a specific niche that you're thinking about will be profitable or not. And I'm gonna be giving this away one time only at the workshop. So make sure you show up, click the link in the description of the pinned comment below. And when you're done registering, make sure to click on add this to your calendar so it'll show up in your Google, Apple, or Outlook calendar. So you can make sure that you won't miss the chance to grab the profitable niche predictor GPT. And you'll also be able to ask me questions live. So I look forward to meeting you. See you Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the link in the description of the pinned comment below. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. So go to categories and let's just scroll down here. You see a bunch of different ones, finance, hobbies and leisure, jobs and education, real estate, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on finance in this case. And then down here, you can see topics that are very popular. So just as an example, GME stock, I think this is GameStop, I believe. PLTR stock, I believe that's Palantir. Meta stock, that's Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. AMC stock. And you can see that these are breakout topics. Now, you can go with the breakout topics, meaning they're getting very popular right now, or you can basically just look at the top topics as well. So the top topics here are going to be stock, bank, credit, insurance, United States dollar currency, tax, loan, credit card, price, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, calculator, payment, JP Morgan, et cetera. And then the top exact search queries are bank, insurance, Chase, Wells Fargo, calculator, Bank of America, IRS, Capital One, Fidelity, Google, PNC, Chase Bank, where's my refund, Amazon, Medicare, etc. And then of course you could explore in more detail. But I'm gonna go to Rising again, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to YouTube and type this in. So I typed in Palantir stock, and you can see there are a ton of people who are making videos on this. And it makes a lot of sense because a lot of people are searching for it, so it makes sense to make videos on it. So Palantir just shocked the entire stock market. I'm selling my Palantir stock. Here's why. If you are a Palantir and NVIDIA shareholder, get ready, et cetera, et cetera. This is a trending topic. Lots of people are making videos on it. Now, generally speaking, you can find these trending topics by searching this way, but the truth is you're gonna miss a lot of stuff if you just, try to find the trending topics within Google Trends, because the truth is you don't know what you don't know, right? So you don't really know what to look for in Google Trends to find the right topics. So how do you find those ideas to look for? Well, I actually created a GPT that specializes, and it's been trained on thousands of hours of my information, my courses, and coaching sessions on exactly how to find really good ideas for YouTube videos. And so you can find the ideas from that GPT, and then you can plug them into Google Trends. So you just have to click sign up to chat, and then you just continue with Google, and then you just click here to get your niche dialed in. And then it's gonna ask you questions like this, and based on your answers, it's going to give you ideas and the keywords you can look up using Google Trends. So I'm gonna say, I help people trying to get their first job. I help them figure out the best career paths for them. I do it by matching their personality and goals to the career and skill set they want to have. Okay, awesome. So it's giving me some really good stuff here. It's actually even giving me some video ideas. Top 7 careers for people who hate working with people. That's actually a really good video. I might have to make that one. And then at this point, I'm gonna ask it, what are some keywords or topics that I should search on Google Trends to see if I should cover them in my videos? Give me a list of 10. Okay, so this one's interesting, career quiz. I'm gonna go ahead and search this on Google Trends. And when I type in career quiz, you can see that it's been pretty steady for the last 5 years. So this probably would not be the right one to make a video on. Now, if I type in no experience job, you can see from 2004 to present, this has gotten really popular over the last few years. And this makes a lot of sense because people are having trouble with this paradox of you need 2 years of experience to get an entry-level job, but you can't get an entry-level job because you don't have 2 years of experience. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation. And you can see this has been getting hugely popular in the last 5 years, especially since COVID. So yeah, that's basically how you do it. Now, just as an example of a few things that took off on Google Trends before they took off anywhere else, if you look at monk mode, this really took off a few years ago on Google Trends. And if you look at YouTube, the first channels who posted this stuff about 5 years ago or so actually got a lot of traction, even though their content honestly wasn't that good. Same thing with dopamine detox. This trend started around 5 years ago and it started getting really hot a few years back. And there was a huge spike in search volume for dopamine detox in 2023. And this channel created a video about dopamine detox in 2023, Koi. And what do you know? It did extremely well, over 3 million views. And he probably got most of his followers from this video alone. Now, let's say you want to start a carnivore diet niche. So the carnivore diet really took off around 2023 and it's still going up. And what do you know? There's a ton of channels that are making videos on carnivore diet around 2023 free, and those videos did extremely well. So this one, for instance, got over 1.8 million views. So yeah, Google Trends can be a great way to find ideas that are really good, trending topics, and even keywords that people are typing in. And this method and all the other methods I'm gonna talk about in the video are especially effective if you combine them with the GPT, which again is in the description in the pinned comment below. Okay, so Twitter can be especially effective if you're making news style content. In fact, I would say it's the most effective. So Twitter, also known as X now, if you're making any type of content where you're basically covering things that are happening in the world immediately, like things that just happened, like news style content, whether it's like sports, for instance, like, the results of the latest, football match, or the results of the latest UFC fight or boxing match, or if it's like finance news, or just like, politics, things that are happening in the world, geopolitics, et cetera, et cetera. Anything where you're covering stuff that just happened, like stuff that is relatively recent in your niche, Twitter or X is going to be a phenomenal option. So just as an example, there's Christian Horner news. This is F1 racing, and news about Horner actually just blew up last week. And this post alone gained over 27 million views, over 6,000 comments, 65,000 retweets, and 248,000 reactions. So you see a post like that blow up on Twitter, and the logical thing to do is to make a YouTube video about it. And that's exactly what this YouTube news channel did. They posted pretty much immediately after that happened, again, about 7 days ago, and they got 1.1 million views. And they weren't the only channel. These channels right here posted about it as well and got a ton of views. And even this relatively small channel, it's a personal brand, posted about it and got a good amount of views as well, over 100,000. And then just 2 days ago, he posted a follow-up video and it got over 76,000 views. Now, there's basically 2 different ways that you're gonna find trending topics on Twitter. The first way is to simply just follow a bunch of X accounts that cover topics in your niche. And these would be X accounts that typically post like news style updates. So that's one really good way of finding trending topics, is to just simply follow accounts that stay up to date on that stuff. And then when they post stuff, you can basically look at it, and then you can, type in the same exact keywords into the search bar. And for instance, one account I followed was talking about TSMC's 35% revenue surge. Now, TSMC is a company that is related to NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA is a very popular company. A lot of people make YouTube videos about it, and there aren't that many people making videos on TSMC, but it is getting a lot of attention on Twitter. And what do you know? If you look up TSMC on YouTube, there's a bunch of channels that are making videos on it, and they're getting a good amount of views. Now, another thing you can do is just simply go to the trending tab, and you'll see it's right here. Now, you can change the settings. You can basically say like, okay, explore locations, United States, show content in this location, trends for you. I'm actually just gonna uncheck that and see what pops up. And sometimes you can find some really good stuff here. Now, you're probably gonna find better stuff. I'm actually on a random account that I made a long time ago, but you're probably gonna find better stuff, again, if you're following the right people. Now, additionally, something you can do is you can actually use the AI to see what is trending right now on Twitter. And I think it's actually much more intelligent to do this. So basically what you do is you would just simply ask Grok something like this. So what company stocks are trending right now on Twitter? Give me a list of the top 10. Right, so if you have the paid version of Grok, it gives you a little bit better data. But even in this case, I asked it, for the top 10 companies, and then I basically asked it, give me some people talking about this. And you can see that this person right here made this tweet. This person right here made this tweet. All of these people were making these tweets, and these tweets were quite popular. So if you click on this first one right here, Stock MKT News, you can see the tweets that they have recently made, and you can see which ones got the most attention, right? So this can be really good information for news style content. And this is exactly what some of my clients like Felix do. They look through Twitter, they use Grok, and they see what's trending, and they make content on those trending topics. And he's basically kind of like a news anchor, but he's covering the economy and stocks instead of random news. Or sometimes he does cover the news, but he relates it back to the economy and stocks.
Quick break. This video is sponsored by me. Most of you don't know that I actually have my own coaching program on personal branding and then growing and making money on YouTube. And this is good for complete beginners, maybe even people who just want to get a job by growing their personal brand, all the way up to people who are very advanced on YouTube. And they get to work directly with myself and my team to help them reach their goals. Now, we are opening up 3 to 5 spots, and this is pretty rare. We usually don't have these open. We usually only limit them to select people. But we're opening up 3 to 5 spots, and you can check those out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And in this program, you'll get to work directly with myself and other people who are highly successful on YouTube. Just as an example, Sean was able to go all the way from being stuck, not making very much money on his channel, to making over $500,000 a month. Now, that's an example of one of my more advanced students, but there's lots of examples of people who started off from scratch and they got to 5K a month, 10K a month, etc. So check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below.
Okay, third method is my absolute favorite method, and I think this works the best for most niches out there, and that's what I call the icon method. Now, the icon method, I've actually made entire videos going over exactly how this works, but basically you find videos on YouTube from small channels that did very well despite being either mediocre or preferably bad, right? So let me just repeat that. Find videos on YouTube that did very well from small channels despite being mediocre or preferably bad. So just as an example, I've used the icon method for the majority of the top videos on my channel, especially ones where they took off and I'd never made a video about it before that was similar to it. So just as an example, this video right here, the most useless degrees, I found this guy's video, terrible thumbnail. The editing was bad. The video quality was bad. His audio was bad. It looked like he was essentially recording a video drunk. He was actually drinking beers during the video. The door in the background is in better focus than his face. And yeah, so it was an objectively bad video, and yet 10,000 subscribers and it got over 760,000 views. And this is literally the exact screenshot that I took of the video at the time. And so what did I do? I made a better version of that video and it got millions and millions of views. It's still one of the most viewed videos on my channel. So that is an example of the icon method. And I recently used this with my brother, Zach. And so we found this video right here, high paying trade jobs that nobody's talking about, 1.6 million views or approximately. So we made a better version of that video, highest paying trades jobs that no one's talking about, 2025. And what do you know? It got 429,000 views in a single month on a brand new channel. So we literally scaled my brother, Zach's channel, which I just enrolled him in my coaching program. That's all we did. And so we scaled my brother Zach's channel from 0 subscribers, 0 videos, 0 views, all the way up to making $220 a day in 1 month, literally 1 month. So yeah, icon method works incredibly well for a lot of niches out there. I will say that for like news style videos, icon method does still work, but it's probably a little bit more effective to use the Twitter method for that particular style of video. All right, next is Reddit, and Reddit can be a phenomenal way to find big trends and really good ideas before they've actually made it to YouTube. So there's Reddit, and then there's this tool called Unvaca that I really like. So a lot of the time, trends will actually get really big on subreddits before they get really big in the mainstream, right? Before they blow up on YouTube, before they blow up on any of the other social media platforms, they will get very popular in subreddits. So you can use a tool like Unvaca, for instance, and you'll see here that if you click in monk mode, you'll see that monk mode is related to a bunch of other communities, right? So for instance, it's related to celibacy, pure retention. It's related to, this word free. I don't want to say that because I don't want YouTube to demonetize me, but that word there, it's related to the 4B movement, whatever that is. It's related to single and happy. Happy single women, okay? So you can see like these are a lot of topics that are getting really big and they're related to monk mode. And so you can see like there's a bunch of posts here, right, that happened in the last few weeks, like a week ago, wanting to start monk mode, but kind of lost on how intense I should go, starting 6 to 7 month monk mode, what are the musts in monk mode, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see what people are talking about and get an idea of what people are talking about with the topic. And you can also just go and look on the forums themselves. So for instance, you just click this button right here and it will take you to the monk mode forum. Now, the reason I use this as an example is because I was paying very close attention to this a few years ago, right before it blew up. And this is very similar to the Google Trends thing that I talked about, but it also got really big on Reddit before it blew up on YouTube. And again, the first people that posted about this on YouTube got a ton of views. One of them, for instance, was Iman Gadzi, who posted about 2 years ago, and he said the cheat code to productivity, monk mode explained, and he got 1.4 million views from that. Now, additionally, dopamine detox is another keyword that got really big on Reddit. It got super big on Reddit before it went to YouTube. And again, you could have very easily found this using the tool Unvaca. So just as an example, this guy who posted about dopamine detox a couple years ago, he got 3.6 million views from it. And this over 100x his normal video. Andrew Huberman started talking about dopamine detox a few years ago. He got lots of views. And Leon Hendricks made a video talking about dopamine detox and got 3.3 million views. And same thing with carnivore diet, right? It's pretty closely related to keto. You can look it up on Unvaca. And keto got really big, probably about 10 years back. And then it kind of died down a little bit, but you saw that in the last few years, carnivore diet has been absolutely blowing up. And channels that have been talking about carnivore diet have also been blowing up. So just as an example, Anthony Chaffee, again, got 1.8 million views 3 years ago when he started talking about it, and that is 98 times higher than his typical video. Now, additionally, another method for finding really good ideas is actually just to look on Amazon books. So just as an example, here's a book, Dopamine Detox. It was published by an author that isn't really that well known, and it has over 13,000 ratings. And it was published a few years back when Dopamine Detox first started to get big. So you could have typed in literally Dopamine Detox and then just, selected the Kindle store here, which is what you want to do. Select the Kindle store, and you'll see how popular these topics are. This one here, 11,000 ratings, et cetera, et cetera. And if you see that these topics are extremely popular, there's a very good chance that if it hasn't already made it onto YouTube, then if you bring it to YouTube, you will get a ton of views. So yeah, this is another way of kind of validating that your idea is really good before you put in all the time, effort, and money of actually making the video. And then another way of finding trending topics is literally just the YouTube homepage. So if you go on the YouTube homepage, you'll see all these videos pop up right here. And this can be a really good way of just getting ideas. And this is especially good if you have a curated account where you only watch people in your niche or in related niches. And so obviously in that case, the right people are going to be popping up. And then additionally, you can go over here on the side and click on the trending tab, and you're going to see a bunch of trending videos. Now, to be honest with you, a lot of these are going to be shorts, so this is not as useful for long form content, but you do see once in a while, you do see some long form videos pop up as well. And even with the shorts, sometimes if it's a really big trend, it can, make it on there, and that's something that you could potentially bring to long form. Now, the next method is other platforms. So essentially what you do is you'd basically use the icon method, but you do it on other platforms instead of YouTube. Now, this is not as effective as doing it directly on YouTube, because sometimes something will get really popular on a certain platform, but it's not popular on YouTube yet. Just as an example, Tumblr is an example of a platform where things get really popular on it, and then it doesn't get popular on any other platform, right? And same thing with like TikTok sometimes. But this can be somewhat effective. So you can see like certain trends get really big on certain platforms, and then they end up coming over to YouTube. So I think you've probably seen this like a million times. I don't think I even need to give an example of this one. It is a little bit more advanced. This method is a bit more advanced just because of the fact that you kind of have to recognize the things that would transfer over to YouTube.
What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. We work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below. and you could be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one.
Okay, so the next method is actually quite expensive, but it is a very effective method. And this is basically where you find blogs that have blown up and they've gotten shared a lot on the internet. Now, the easiest way to do this is to use this tool called BuzzSumo. Now, this tool is quite expensive. I think it's like $100 a month. You can start a free trial with it, and then you could probably just keep renewing the free trial. But yeah, it's quite expensive. But I've done this in the past many times, where I will find articles and then we'll basically see how many Facebook engagements the articles have. And then based on these articles, I'll basically see which one I think would make a good YouTube video. So here are examples of different articles and how many engagements they've had on Facebook. So just as an example, I found this article from FastWeb, which for whatever reason is formatted super weird right now. I don't know, maybe their website's being weird or something, or they don't like my blockers. But yeah, I found this article and it got shared a ton of times on Facebook. And so what did I do? I made a video very similar to this, Degrees That Produce the Most Millionaires. And this was like 5 years ago when my channel was tiny, and it got over 300,000 views. So it was actually quite good for my channel at the time. And yeah, I've used this method many times. There's different ways to do it, but like I said, BuzzSumo is the best way. They are ridiculously expensive. So usually what I'll do is I'll do this one like maybe once a year just to come up with ideas. I'll sign up for BuzzSumo, do it like once a year, and then I, cancel my subscription after that. So on May 26th, we published this video right here for my brother, and we used the icon method to find the idea for this video. Now, we used a combination of like the GPTs, like my knowledge from the GPTs and the icon method, but mostly it was the icon method. And this was the very first video that my brother ever uploaded to YouTube. And we're basically using him as a case study just because I have like unlimited access to him. I can call him anytime, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very easy to use him as a case study. And so it got 430,000 views so far. And just to put this in perspective, on June 25th, 2025, his channel hit $220 in AdSense revenue. So in less than 1 month after his first video was posted, he made it to $200 a day. And that's somewhere around $70,000 to $80,000 a year if you were to extrapolate that out to a year. So these methods really do work, guys. Now, he joined my coaching program and he worked directly with myself and my coaches. And if you would like to also join the coaching program, you can apply by clicking the link down in the description and the pinned comment below. We have countless examples of people that we've gotten results for on YouTube, and you can see a bunch of those testimonials in there. One testimonial, for instance, was from Davis, and I actually did a live interview with him. And if you wanna watch that live interview case study where we break down exactly how we got him to a 7-figure YouTube channel, you can check that out by clicking right here.